Curitiba, a model for transportation systems everywhere, by John Bent. While you wouldn't notice it upon the first glance, Curitiba has been a leader in sustainability and transportation advancements for the last 40 years. With a population of almost 2 million, one would expect a city such as this to be polluted and traffic-ridden. This usually makes life more difficult for its citizens. However, surveys have reported that up to 99% of Curitibans reported being happy with their city. Curitiba is the capital of the southern Brazilian state of Paraná. With Brazil being usually referred to as a developing country, Curitiba has been a pinnacle of sustainability for creating a higher quality way of life for people, the environment, and its transportation systems. Jamie Lerner became mayor in the early 1970s. With the population skyrocketing, city planners came to him advising to tear down some buildings and widen the roads to reduce the congestion. He instead did the exact opposite and decided to pave the street and close it off to traffic, thus creating the first pedestrian mall. Rua das Flores, the merchant and pedestrian-friendly street, now spans over 15 city blocks. Adorned with shops and flowers, the charming street is both bus and pedestrian-friendly. Lerner would then stay in office from 1971 to 2002. Lerner is quoted listing three main issues that cities have to overcome. The first is mobility, meaning the transportation and how quickly one can get around the city. The second being sustainability, so how to preserve the environment and transportation systems over time. And lastly, identity, giving the city a reputation that is one of its kind and making the population proud of where they live. With the population having tremendously grown by the 1970s, Lerner knew that the solution was in improving the public transport. However, the city was cash poor, and as subway was too expensive, the only viable solution was bus rapid transit. In order to correctly complete such a task, creativity, simplicity, and cost effectiveness had to be kept in mind. Lerner created traffic paths with two-way traffic and a center bus-only lane. The popularity of the bus transit grew immensely, transporting nearly 2 million passengers. The bus system is non-subsidized and pays for itself. He introduced double arterial buses that hold up to 270 passengers to accommodate the popularity. Noticing that waiting to pay for a bus ticket slowed down transit times, Lerner developed boarding tubes for each stop. The tubes are raised and not only provided shelter for those waiting to ride, but also allowed them to purchase their tickets ahead of time, thus speeding up the transit times. Now, during peak hour, a bus will arrive every 60 seconds. The boarding tube then gave the bus a metro-like feel. Tube stops are equipped with 5 doors to enter and exit, and also accommodate for the disabled with wheelchair access. As cars are becoming so dependent, the pollution is causing health hazards for many. While eliminating all cars are ideal, we know that this is not a very probable idea, as we have become so car dependent. But by offering cheap and reliable alternatives that are in many cases quicker, this is why Curitiba's bus rapid transit has become so effective. This effectiveness is not only because of the bus's unique design, but also because none of the transportation systems compete with one another. They all occupy their own space. Traffic control through signals give the buses priority crossing roads in key streets near the CBD, and these streets are pedestrianized for bus-only access. The BRT system uses radial expansion, widening using the land and protection from the city center. While some cities, traffic enforcement is an issue, it is not in Curitiba. Bus traffic flows are totally segregated in the center of the road. Left turns are limited, thus preventing traffic from entering the busway. This lateral flow of traffic provides a safe and secure means of transportation for all different modes. Following the city's major corridors, a trinary system was developed, comprising of 3 main roads with many different terminals that sprawl out from the mains. The intelligent land use means buses will cross the CBD with limited traffic as much as bus-only access, pedestrianized and parking controlled. Bus feeder services are integrated through terminals along the busway. The bus system includes approximately 1,100 kilometers of busways. 60 kilometers of them are segregated, carrying up to 11,000 passengers one way on the busiest day at the busiest hour. A fleet of around 1,600 vehicles, each with a 270-person capacity, average 12 miles an hour along the busway and 19 miles an hour on the express routes. 26 interchange terminals link the system together. The BRT is estimated to have costed $1.5 million per kilometer. Around 70% of the population use these busways, even though the car ownership is higher than in the national average. The busway system has driven land use development, bringing up property values and providing work for many. Effective land zoning has integrated residential and commercial land usage while maintaining firm control over large-scale developments, keeping them near to the structural areas. Having successfully developed a public transit system that worked fluidly, Jamie Lerner then went on to build a series of parks. He hired Hitoshi Nakamura to direct the gardens. Together, they created a network of isolated yet interconnected parks that ring around the city. They turned previously unused land and used their environmental landscape to create beautiful scenery. Curitiba has now 4 times the amount of recommended greenscape. They even used inner-city shepherds to trim the grass in the parks by using sheep. Curitiba isn't all perfect though, as slums are located around the city. Lerner came up with a solution for this though, and has promoted people to turn in garbage for food. This allows even the poorest to remain fed and play an important part in the city's sustainability. Many slums are built illegally, so the city is buying land and destroying the illegal buildings. The city won't leave the settled population on its own, however, and will instead relocate them to new settlements in a suburb with transportation, electricity, markets, and schools. This relocation and access to transportation will help reintegrate the impoverished into the higher classes. In order to maintain such high levels of sustainability, it is important to educate the future populations early on. A city is a community, and it needs all of its pieces in order to function. The question isn't about money, as creativity will always prevail. Lerner once said that in order to be creative, you simply need to remove a zero from your budget, and you will find an even better way. Thank you.